Hello, dear children, welcome back. I'm Dr. Jisha Jo. In this session, we shall have a quick review of all the 5 chapters which we have for the first semester biology exam. Please make sure that you do not skip these most important topics when you do your revision work. I know you all are going on with your last minute preparations for your exam. At this moment, I would like to remind you that you need not or you should not study anything new. You just have to revise whatever you have studied. Try to practice as many multiple choice questions as you can. Okay, if at this moment if you are planning to study something new, it will be of no use to you. So please stop studying. You just revise what you have already studied. Try to practice as many questions, previous year's questions, or as many MCQs as possible during this last moments. Okay. Now, moving on with the first chapter, I have already discussed the first chapter in the focus point. So, all those things which I have discussed in the focus points are important. Once again, I am reminding you to go through the different phases of mitosis. Any of the stage of mitosis can be given as a diagram based question. You will be asked to identify the phase, to label the diagram, what is the stage that comes before or what comes after that particular stage given in the question paper. Such questions can be asked. Okay, so please go through the diagram of the different stages of mitosis once again. Okay, the number of chromosomes present in that particular cell that is given in the question. So such type of questions can be asked from that part. Okay, and all those things which we have already discussed in the focus points of the first of this chapter, you have to go through. Okay. Now, moving on with the chapter genetics, you should know the definition of heredity, variation, character, trait. There are several definitions that can be asked. Homologous chromosomes, what is karyotype, what is gene, what is genome, what is genotype, phenotype. All these definitions you should know. Okay. Then, who is the father of genetics? Then you have a list of organisms with their chromosome numbers given. You should go through that because you can expect a question from that part. Okay, then what are autosomes and sex chromosomes? Which are the autosomes and the sex chromosomes present in humans? What is the total number of chromosomes present in human beings? All these you should know. Okay, chromosomes are the carriers of heredity. That also you should know. Now, moving on with sex determination, it is the father who determines the sex of the child, because the fathers produce 2 types of sperms. Half of the sperm will be X and the remaining half will be Y chromosome, but mothers produce eggs which are all of one type only, containing X chromosome. So if a Y containing chromosome of the father fuses with the X containing egg of the mother, then the offspring or the child will be a male. And if the X containing sperm fuses with the egg, then the offspring will be a female. So that also, sex determination is important. Okay, then we have seen dominant and recessive allele. That is important there. The difference between genotype and phenotype, which I have already told before. Then tongue rolling as an example of inheritance from parents to children. Pedigree will not be asked as a diagram based question at the 10th standard level, but you should know what does each symbol represent. The square, a hollow square, or a hollow circle, a solid square, or a solid circle. What does it represent? You should know. Okay, solid symbol represents an affected individual. Okay, a solid symbol, whether it is a circle or a square, it represents an affected individual. The usual expressed character is represented by the hollow symbol, that you should know. Then a cross can be asked. Okay, like for example, you can expect a cross like a male who is a homozygous tongue roller mates with a female who is a heterozygous tongue roller. What are the possible genotypes or the phenotypes of the progeny? So you can expect questions like that. Then sex-linked inheritance, as per the reduced syllabus, sex-linked inheritance is not there for the exam. Okay, sex-linked inheritance is not there for the exam. Then coming to Mendel's experiment, you should know what are the characters that Mendel selected for his experimental studies. Why did he select? What was his experimental material? Why did he select garden pea as his experimental material? What is the scientific name of garden pea? All these you should know. Okay. Then dihybrid cross is not there for our exam. You just have to concentrate only on monohybrid cross, and for sure 99% sure you can expect a question from monohybrid cross. Okay, in several of our previous MCQs which we have discussed, the videos which I have uploaded before, I have discussed several monohybrid crosses. Please go through all that and make sure that you do not make a mistake in such a question. Okay, and remember, the phenotypic ratio of a monohybrid cross in the F2 generation is 3:1, and the genotypic ratio is 1:2:1. And all the characters which Mendel selected, the dominant and the recessive traits, you should be familiar with. Okay, so that is what is important there. Then as I told you, dihybrid cross, dihybrid ratios are not there. Moving on to laws of inheritance, all the three laws, even though dihybrid cross is not there, the third law also is important. The law of independent assortment, the law of segregation, and the law of dominance are equally important. You should know to state the law. Sometimes the law may be stated and you will be asked to identify the law. Or a cross can be given, and which is the law on which this cross is based. The cross, monohybrid cross, if it is given and you are asked to find the law on which this cross is based, it is the law of dominance. A pure breeding tall plant crossed with a pure breeding dwarf plant, F1 generation, we get a heterozygous tall plant. Okay, so the genotype of the F1 is capital T small t. Here the law of dominance is followed. That is, out of a pair of contrasting characters present together, only one is able to express itself, the other remains suppressed. So capital T small t present together, which is capital T, that is expressed there. That is why we get the offsprings as tall in the F1 generation. So it is the law of dominance that is followed there. Now when the F1 plants are selfed, or self-pollination is conducted on F1 plants, we get the F2 generation. The phenotypic ratio of the F2 generation is 3:1. So if we take the same question, it is 3 tall is to 1 dwarf, and the genotypic ratio will be 1 capital T is to 2 capital T small t is to 1 small t small t. So that is the genotypic ratio. So the law of segregation states that the two members of a pair of factors separate during gamete formation. So if we take the F1 here, F1 generation, we have got capital T small t, that is heterozygous tall. So during gamete formation, this capital T move on to one gamete, small t move on to another gamete. Capital T does not say that it will remain only with small t. So the segregation, the gametes or the factors, the members of a pair of factors, the pair of factors, there are capital T and small t, and the members of this pair of factors separate during gamete formation. So during gamete formation, capital T move on to one gamete, small t move on to another gamete. So that is the law of segregation. Law of independent assortment depends, or it is dependent on the dihybrid cross. We don't have the dihybrid cross, but you should know the law of independent assortment. Okay. Then applications of Mendel's laws and all, just read through it. Mutation definition is important. Okay, mutation. Then sickle cell anemia is an example of a gene mutation there. So all those things are important. So what we have left out in this chapter is dihybrid cross completely we have left out, and sex linked inheritance is also not there. Okay, make sure that you do the cross and study. Monohybrid cross is important. One sure question will be there from that part. Now moving on with the next chapter, that is absorption by roots. You should know what are the mineral elements, or in what form some of the mineral nutrients are absorbed as salts, some are absorbed as ions. Which are they? You should know. Then what are the characteristics of roots that enable it to perform the function of absorption? Okay, so there are three features, that is surface area, enormous surface area, root hairs containing cell sap at a higher concentration than the soil solution, then the thin walls of the root hairs. Sometimes it might be asked, like, which is not a characteristic of the roots which enable it to absorb water. So read the question properly. Read the question properly and mark the answers. Okay. Then the diagram of a single grown root hair, it can be asked as a diagram based question. Okay, a single full grown root hair can be given, labeling the parts, what is the process of water intake by the root. Such questions can be asked. Then definition of imbibition, diffusion, osmosis, osmotic pressure, a lot of definitions are coming in this chapter. Hypotonic solution, hypertonic solution, isotonic solution, exosmosis, endosmosis, plasmolysis, deplasmolysis, flaccidity, turgidity, turgid cell, flaccid cell, all these terms you should be familiar with. Okay, then yes, you can expect that experimental setup to demonstrate osmosis as a diagram based question. Then the schematic representation of osmosis and the nature of semi-permeable membrane, that is two regions separated by a semi-permeable membrane is given, and the two solutions present at the two regions are of different concentrations. What is the net movement, or what is the direction of movement of water, what is the process taking place? So that also can be asked as a diagram based question. Okay. Then a cell placed in water, a particular type of solution, what will happen? For example, a cell when placed in hypotonic solution contain more amount of water. So naturally water enters into the cell. Endosmosis take place when a cell is placed in hypotonic solution and the cell becomes turgid. Whereas a hypertonic solution is a highly concentrated solution. A highly concentrated solution will have less amount of water. So naturally water moves out of the cell. Exosmosis will take place and the cell becomes flaccid. The cell shrinks, or plasmolysis will take place. Okay, so that you should know. Then what is active transport, passive transport definitions you should know. Then yeah, you might be asked a question like, for example, what is what is present in the space between the cell wall and the cell membrane of a plasmolized cell? So plasmolized, when does the cell becomes plasmolized? When it is placed in hypertonic solution. So what will be present in that space between the cell wall and the cell membrane? It will be the hypertonic solution that will be present in that space, because we know cell wall is a freely permeable membrane. Okay. Then go through the uses of turgidity. Sometimes, for example, different uses of turgidity can be given, and one may not be a use. To identify which is not a use of turgidity, or you can expect give reasons also from that part. Turgor movement, okay, drooping of mimosa leaves. uh, give reason, or what is that. So you should know it is an example of turgor movement, which is shown there by mimosa pudica, drooping of the mimosa leaves. Then wilting of the leaves is usually noticed during the afternoons. Several give reasons also you can expect from that part. Okay. Another question: roots of certain trees are seen to crack the walls of buildings or floors. So yeah, crack the walls of a building. So here, what is that which is involved in the cracking? That is the turgor pressure. So you should know that. Then moving on to root pressure, definition is important. What is guttation? Guttation, the cause of guttation is root pressure. Okay, that also you should know. Then you can expect a diagram based from that part, that is the cross section of the part of a root can be given. You might be asked to label the parts. Okay, the different parts may be labeled as 1, 2, 3, 4, and the options, different options may be given, and you will be asked to choose the correct option. So labeling can be asked: what is the pressure that is developed in this region as a result of the inward movement of water through the cells? So it is root pressure that is developed. So what is the process of intake of water at the root hair? That is osmosis, what that is taking place at the root hair for the intake of water. So such type of questions can be asked. So that can be asked as a diagram based question. Okay, diagram can be given and question can be asked. Then the girdling experiment, to show that food is conducted through the phloem, and the water conduction occurs through the xylem. Okay, just read through all those experiments given at the end of that chapter. Then moving on with the next chapter, that is transpiration. Yes, the first experiment, that is the the plant covered with a polythene bag can be given. The experiment, the figure can be given. What is that process that is demonstrated by this experiment? Definition of the process. Such type of questions can be asked. Then cobalt chloride paper, dry cobalt chloride paper is blue in color, indicator of moisture. Cobalt chloride paper, when it turns or when it absorbs moisture, it becomes pink in color. You should know that. Then moving on with, yeah, a potometer. You should know that potometer is a device that measures the rate of water intake by a plant, and this water intake is equal to, it is almost equal to the water lost as a result of transpiration. So potometer is important. You can expect a diagram based question from that. Okay, identify the apparatus. What is the apparatus used for? Then which among the options, given options, is not a precaution that is to be followed while setting up the apparatus or while doing the experiment on potometer? So such type of questions, precautions, limitations, you should study all that. Okay, how is the air bubble introduced? Just go through all that. They are written under potometer, Ganong's potometer. Then the different types of potometers given: Darwin's, Garrow's, Farmer's potometer, etc. Just go through that. We don't know what will be asked. Then the coming to the kinds of transpiration: stomatal transpiration, cuticular transpiration, lenticular transpiration. Yeah, just go through all that. Maximum transpiration occurs through the stomata, that you should know. Then the stomatal structure apparatus can be given, label the parts. Then another question that you can expect is the cobalt chloride experiment there. That also you can expect a diagram based question. A potted plant with cobalt chloride paper attached to the two surfaces of a leaf may be given, and questions based on that can be asked. Okay, then what are the factors affecting transpiration? You should know all those factors. Here sometimes it may also be asked as a give reason type question. Okay, for example, more transpiration occurs during day. Several options can be given. You should know to choose the correct option. Okay, that is important. Factors affecting transpiration, adaptations to reduce transpiration, sometimes which is not an adaptation to reduce transpiration, can be asked. So read the questions properly. Don't avoid that not written there. If you avoid that not, you will get the answer wrong. Okay, then a plant having narrow leaves, a plant having sunken stomata, such things can be asked. And significance of transpiration. Okay, that also can. Transpiration is of great advantage to the plant. Reasons, so you should know, can be asked as give reason. Transpiration is of great advantage to the plant or great significance to the plant, can be asked as give reason. Okay, and you are supposed to, different options can be given and you are supposed to choose the correct option for give reason. Then guttation and bleeding. Guttation, I have already told you what is the structure that is involved in guttation, that is hydathod. Okay, guttation occurs through the vein endings, the special pores that are present at the tips of the veins, at the margins of the leaves, they are the hydathods. And bleeding occurs due to injury. The cause of both guttation and bleeding are root pressure. Okay, root pressure is the cause of both guttation and bleeding. Then I think you can see the differences between guttation and bleeding given in the text. Please go through those. The exudates, what are the major constituents of the exudate present in guttation? Guttation, the exudate is mainly water with some dissolved mineral salts, whereas in bleeding it is mainly plant sap and sugars. So the difference between guttation and bleeding, please go through that. So that is what we have. So as diagram based question, you can expect the cobalt chloride experiment or the polythene bag experiment or the Ganong spotometer. These are some of the figures which you can expect. Okay, then moving on with the next chapter, the last chapter which we have for the semester exam, that is photosynthesis. Yeah, we have you can expect, we have several experiments at the end of the chapter. Any of the experiment can be asked as a diagram based question. Okay, please go through all the experiments to show that chlorophyll is necessary for photosynthesis, sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis, carbon dioxide is necessary for photosynthesis, the evolution of oxygen during photosynthesis. Go through all those experiments. You can expect one question as a diagram based question from that from these experiments. Okay, please go through that. Then iodine test from that chapter is important. What is the purpose, or why do we boil the leaf in water, or why do we dip the leaf in boiling water, or why do we boil it in methyl alcohol, that is methylated spirit. Why do we boil it in methylated spirit? So such type of questions can be asked. Okay, what is the end result of iodine test? Okay, if in presence of starch the leaf turns blue black in color, so you should know all that. Then what is destarching? Destarching is the removal of starch from the leaves of the plant. Okay, don't it is from the leaves that the starch is removed, not from the entire plant. From the leaves alone the starch is removed in a destarched plant. Now, yeah, structure of the chloroplast is important, can be asked as a diagram based question. Okay, to label the parts. Then what is the location and function? Several location and function you can expect, that is the presence of chlorophyll located where the chlorophyll pigments are located on the walls of the thylakoids. Okay, thylakoids are sac-like structures which are placed one above the other, and it is present in the stroma, and the chlorophyll pigment is present along the walls of the thylakoids. Then from this chapter, potassium ion concentration theory has been deleted. Okay, potassium ion concentration theory is not there for this exam, but yeah, all the other things are there. Okay, sugar concentration theory, just go read through that. Then what is the correct equation for photosynthesis? You should know balanced equation for photosynthesis. Then what is the first step in photochemical reaction? That is the activation of chlorophyll. The light is absorbed and chlorophyll gets activated. Chlorophyll absorbs light energy and it gets activated. Okay, then splitting of water takes place. This light energy is used to split water. Water is split into H plus ions, electrons and oxygen. What is the end result of the products of photolysis? Products of photolysis are H plus ions, electrons and oxygen. And what happens to these end products are hydrogen is picked up by NADP to get itself reduced to NADPH. Okay, and oxygen is released out as O2. Electrons are used in converting adenosine diphosphate to adenosine triphosphate in presence of phosphate, inorganic phosphate. Full form of ATP, ADP, NADP, all these are important. So the three terms phosphorylation, photophosphorylation and polymerization are important. There, phosphorylation is the addition of phosphate group. When this addition occurs in presence of light, it is called photophosphorylation, and polymerization is the conversion of glucose into starch. Glucose is a monosaccharide. Several glucose molecules join together to form a large starch molecule, and this is called as polymerization. So you should know that. Then where does photolysis take place? You should know it is on the grana. Then what are the adaptations of leaves to perform photosynthesis? Important. Okay, then yeah, how is this? We know food is prepared in the plant in the form of glucose, and this glucose is it is transported to the different parts of the plant in the form of sucrose. Okay, glucose, sometimes the plant may immediately consume the glucose, or it may be transported. It is converted to sucrose and is transported in the form of sucrose, or it may be stored as starch. Then what is the optimum temperature? What are the factors affecting photosynthesis is important. What is the optimum temperature for photosynthesis? What are the internal factors, external factors? Which is not an internal factor? Question like that can be asked. So read the options properly and mark the correct option. Okay, and as I told you before, all the experiments on photosynthesis are equally important. Just delete carbon cycle. Carbon cycle is not there for this exam. Okay, so just leave that topic, and the remaining part, please make sure that you read the text thoroughly. Okay, don't try to study anything new. Just revise what you have studied and practice as many multiple choice questions as you can during the remaining hours. Don't get tensed. Okay, study well. Don't get tensed. Don't be overconfident. Okay, you should be confident, but overconfidence is also not good. So be calm, be cool, read the question, each question, read it properly and choose the correct answer. So children, with this I am ending this session. While doing the revision, if you come across any doubts, you can ask your doubts in the comment section. Please don't sit late at night. Have a good night's sleep, and all the very best to all of you.